Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are going into the Timeless Cup battles, of course, against a subscriber and somebody who has submitted me tournaments for me to shoutcast in the past. So thank you for that. And also I wanted to extend a congratulations to him. He did win his Timeless Cup tournament, a very early tournament. I think it was actually on December 1st, so as early as it could possibly be. So congratulations. These are not tournament battles, these are just practice against him. Let's take a look at his team, shall we? He has Lanturn, Whiscash, Victreebel, Skuntank, Dragonair, and Venusaur, and I have Lapras, Dragonair, Victreebel, Lanturn, Spiritomb, and Charizard. And as you saw, I just got the double buff with Spiritomb. Now obviously that is not going to happen all the time in every battle. In fact, most of the time it's not going to happen. You know, maybe you'll get lucky here and there, but you know, most of the time it's not going to happen. But we got the double buff, so I'm going to go ahead and go for another Ominous Wind, not necessarily to try to take a buff. I just wanted to try and take the shield, so we actually do successfully take it, and then we go for a Shadow Ball, and this is going to actually knock out the Skuntank thanks to our double buff. I don't think it would have knocked it out if we didn't get any buff, but I'll definitely take it. So he brings in Dragonair, finishes me off, but, you know, Spiritomb did its job. We lagged a little bit on the Dragonair, that's why he's like, yeah, that's why he looks like he's at more health or about the same health, but that's okay because we're going to go ahead and shield that up, and then we just get off a return. We're going to be able to win this one thanks to Spiritomb, thanks to the buff. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Spiritomb for a little bit. So I do think it's a pretty good Pokemon. I think it's underrated. I really do, and the reason is because, well, first of all, Spiritomb is not eligible for this cup. So did I say Spiritomb? I meant Sableye. I don't know if I said Spiritomb or Sableye, but Sableye is not eligible for this cup. It's banned. So because of that, Spiritomb might actually take its place as a really good Pokemon. It only has one weakness. It is weak to Fairy types, but Fairy types are not eligible for this cup, right? So it's got that going for us. Of course, you could use Fairy type moves. So there are a couple Charm users, as Raichu and Donphan, in the cup that could threaten it, but I don't see those as being super common, to be honest with you. I'm going to try them out because I know people have been requesting them, so we'll definitely try it out. But yeah, I don't think they'll be really common Pokemon. So Spiritomb, definitely really good, charges up fast. And as you notice, his Lanturn does have Charge Beam. Now, I actually have Lanturn on my team. I didn't use it in any of these battles just because after I saw his Lanturn with Charge Beam, I thought that made a lot of sense, right? I mean, it does charge up really fast, so that's why I decided, you know what, because I currently have Water Gun in mind, so I do want to try out a Lanturn with Charge Beam, so I didn't really use it in these battles, but I will be bringing Lanturn to a video with Charge Beam because I think Charge Beam makes more sense. Because, you know, grass types as well as dragons resist water. You know, they resist electric as well, but at least you're charging up fast. But either way, I bring in my Charizard, we get off the Blast Burn immediately against his Lanturn, and we're actually able to go ahead and win that game. So very good game, very good game. But yeah, I really liked Spiritomb. I do want to try it out some more. I do think it could be a really solid pick for this cup. I'm not saying it's the greatest Pokemon, but it's definitely an off pick, spicy pick if you want to go with something unique. I feel like it's really good. So I definitely catch the lead. He switches into his Skuntank. I will switch into Dragonair. I decided to save that Victreebel for his water types later on. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Crunch because I don't want to take it. I could take it, but I don't want to. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Aqua Tail against his Skuntank. He will shield that one up, probably because he figures he can get to another charge move as he can, as you see right now. I will go ahead and shield this one, and it's going to be a Crunch. I decided just to use both my shields. I do lag. I think he lagged too, so I don't think it affected anything. But either way, we faint down the Skuntank. He brings in his Lanturn, and I do go ahead and click on that return immediately just to get as much damage as possible off against the Lanturn. Again, we're lagging a little bit. I do switch into my Victreebel. He's going to pull the switch into Dragonair. I'm okay with this because at least we have a Leaf Tornado, so we're going to be lowering his attack. So we get off that Leaf Tornado. He does shield it, which was great for me. I wasn't actually expecting the shield, but I guess it makes sense because he's running low on Pokemon. So he's going to go ahead and get off that return to knock out my Victreebel. But that's totally cool. I will think about it for a little bit. I decided to bring in my Dragonair. We actually get to the Aqua Tail, but I'm not fast enough to click on it, so I just faint down. And then I bring in my Spiritomb. The Pokemon that's being promoted in this video, I guess. And we're just trying to farm down the Dragonair. We are successfully able to farm it down. And then I click on Shadow Ball. I didn't need a Shadow Ball. I could have gotten away with Ominous Wind, but that's okay. We go for the Shadow Ball, and we knock out Lanturn, and we do go ahead and take that game. So way to go, Spiritomb. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for battling. But no, it's really fun. It's a really fun Pokemon to use. It's really strong in my opinion. But for the next game, I lead with Lapras. He leads with Whiscash. So we know how spammy that Whiscash is. He gets the Mud Bomb incredibly fast. So I will go ahead and take this attack. I mean, we could take several Mud Bombs. But the damage does add up, right? So we're going to take another one, and we're just going to continue to take them. There's a Mud Bomb, so let's see. Are we at Skull Bash yet? We just got to it. I will go ahead and go for that Skull Bash. I decide not to bluff, because if he doesn't shield the Surf, it would have been bad for me. As you can see, he didn't shield the Skull Bash, expecting the bluff, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, because first of all, my defense was increased. So I knew I could take it, and I think I could have taken it anyway. But we do go ahead and knock out the Whiscash. So Lapras really pulling through. He does bring in Venusaur. I do click on my Surf immediately. You know, maybe I could have gotten to the Skull Bash before he fainted me down, but it didn't matter because he shielded anyway. So, that's totally fine. We think about it for a little bit. I do decide to bring in my Spiritomb. He will get off his charge move. Now, I know I do resist both of these charge moves. Wait a minute. Do we resist Frenzy Plant? No, we don't, because we're not poison, right? So we actually don't resist the Frenzy Plant, but I shield it anyway. I do charge up quite a bit and bring in my Dragonair, so we have energy ready to go on that Spiritomb. We have Shadow Ball, we have Ominous Wind. We're going to take this Sludge Bomb, doing a lot of damage. I was expecting a crunch, but, you know, Sludge Bomb obviously going to do a lot of damage to us. We get off the Aqua Tail, and we're just trying to feint him down at this point. He does get to his charge move. I am going to go ahead and let it go down. So Dragonair will fall. That's totally fine because we go ahead and bring in Spiritomb, and we're just trying to feint down the Skuntank as we're able to do so. So he does bring in his Venusaur. I definitely go for the Ominous Wind, go for the bluff. I knew the shield had to come up at this point. So we do go ahead and go for that Ominous Wind, and then we go for the Shadow Ball. I thought this would KO. Let's see if it does. It is successfully able to knock out the Venusaur, so we do go ahead and pull that one off. Again, with Spiritomb. Love using it. You guys love seeing it. You love to see it, right? So, Spiritomb, definitely an interesting pick. Definitely a fun one at that, and really good. Definitely underrated, in my opinion, as I said. But we are leading with Spiritomb for the next game. He will lead with his Charge Beam Lanturn, so that's totally fine. We're charging up to Shadow Ball. I think I do decide to go for the Shadow Ball. This time I do shield, so I do shield that Thunderbolt, but I do go for the Shadow Ball because last time I went for the Ominous Wind, he didn't shield it, or I don't think he shielded it, and it didn't do that much, so I was thinking maybe he wouldn't shield it, thinking it was an Ominous Wind, but he does decide to shield it. This time I go for the Ominous Wind, not the Shadow Ball, and he will shield that one up, so at least we take both shields, so I'll definitely take it, you know, really good for us. And I do decide to shield this one up, because it is actually a Hydro Pump. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a Thunderbolt. But I do get to my Shadow Ball, so we should be able to knock out that Lanturn with Shadow Ball. Big damage coming through, so you could see how much Shadow Ball does. He does bring in his Skuntank, and we decide to try and charge up to Shadow Ball, but he actually beats us to it and gets to a charge move. It's going to be that crunch, and that's going to knock us out. I guess I could have switched out and saved that energy for later. Probably should have done that. But I was trying to get to the Shadow Ball. I thought I'd be able to make it, but we were not able to. But that's fine. I saw him switch, so I immediately click on my Blast Burn, but he switches into Dragonair. So definitely not good for us because we don't want... We'd rather have the Dragon Claw going into the Dragonair, right? So anyway, he hits us with a return. We're going to be able to take it and then feint down that Dragonair. And then his opposing Skuntank will come in, and we're going to be able to... I don't think we could take that. No, we definitely cannot take that. And then we bring in Dragonair, Charizard, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and go for that Dragon Claw. And this will do a lot of damage, doesn't knock him out, and then we just feint him. So very close game. I feel like I messed up in that game, in that battle, but that's okay. That's okay. We're practicing with a Pokemon we haven't really used this cup, Spiritomb. I think I used it in like the first video, just before I even knew what I was going to use. But outside of that, I didn't really use it. Anyway, we win the lead. He switches out. I switch out into my Dragonair. I do lag. You know, I don't know. He might have gotten in an extra hit or two. I don't really know. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. I do go ahead and shield that one up. And we do get to an Aqua Tail. So we're going to go ahead and fire off this Aqua Tail right now. He will shield that, so that's fine. Happy to take the shield at least. So I'm going to go ahead and commit both shields to my Dragonair. And it is going to be a crunch. We can shield that, as I said. So we're going to go ahead and get to the Aqua Tail. You know, I could have tried to feint him down. Maybe I should have to save the energy. But I was afraid he would get to another charge move. But maybe he couldn't have. Maybe I was totally wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I switch into my Victreebel. He switches out his Whiscash into his Lantern, so neither of which are good for him. When I saw that Lantern, I was like, oh, a pretty safe win for me, in my opinion. So we're just going to town with that Victreebel. He is going to go ahead and get off a charge move. It is going to be a Thunderbolt, but we could take that. Now, we do go ahead and knock out that Lantern. However, he brings in Whiscash, and he actually gets off the Mud Bomb. So he's going to be able to knock out my Victreebel with a Whiscash. So that was awesome. That was really cool to see because Victreebel obviously dominates Whiscash, right? But he does knock me out. So we're going to go ahead and bring in that Spiritomb, take the Mud Bomb, and we're just going to be able to feint down the Whiscash. So we do go ahead and win that one. But Victreebel, definitely the mascot or the MVP player of that game because beating two water types. So way to go. Anyway, the next game I do lead with my Lapras. He leads with his Venusaur. So not really good for us. I mean, he is weak to ice, but at the same time we're weak to like the Frenzy Plant, the grass attacks, and we don't want to take that, right? So we bring in Dragonair. He brings in his own Dragonair. So I'll definitely take it. I feel like Dragonair is a pretty safe switch in for this cup. What do you guys think? I feel like it's pretty solid to switch in. But anyway, even if they switch in an opposing Dragonair or like a Kingdra, you're still good because you're still doing a good amount of damage to them as well, right? So we hit the Aqua Tail, he shields it up, and then he feints us down. So at least we took a shield. I think I come back in with the Lapras. Let's see. Yeah, I do decide to come in with the Lapras. Didn't want to come in with Spiritomb because Skuntank will resist Spiritomb's charge moves. We do get hit with a Crunch, and we're able to take it, and then we just get to that Surf. So I'm going to go ahead and use Surf right now, and he will not shield that. So he actually switches, and then I switch immediately upon seeing that switch, enough to catch the charge move. However, I'm still going to shield it up because I don't want to take that damage. So I'm just charging up to an Ominous Wind. We are successfully able to get there, so we do get to an Ominous Wind. And this is going to be met with a shield, so that's totally fine. We'll definitely take that. And then he is going to go ahead and go for a charge move. I do shield this one up as well, investing both shields into my Spiritomb. I am able to get to a charge move, so I do get to the Ominous Wind, and that will knock out the Venusaur. Then he brings in his Skuntank, and it's going to fall to Spiritomb. So Spiritomb pulling it through again. You know, obviously, if you have a Spiritomb, you don't want to go up against a Skuntank, ideally, because Skuntank will resist the moves, right? So, anyway, the next match, he leads with Lantern, I lead with Lapras. Not good for me, just because Thunderbolt will be doing a lot of damage, so I do switch into my Dragonair. He switches out, although he does have energy loaded, so I do have to be careful. I do have my Dragonair using Return right now, so we're going to go ahead and get it off. He will shield that. That's fine, at least we took a shield. We do get to an Aqua Tail, so I was curious if he would shield this one up. Let's see if he decides to. He does not, so I wouldn't have shielded that either, but he does get off his charge move, so he's going to be able to knock out our Dragonair, but at least we were able to take a shield, so I'll look at that as a win, right? You know, anyway, we knock out his Dragonair, feinting it with Lapras. He brings in his Lantern, so not really good for us. We're going to shield this Thunderbolt up. We don't want to take it. And we're just charging up for the Skull Bash. I do decide to go for the Skull Bash against the Lantern, trying to get as much damage as possible. He does shield it. Now, if I had bluffed, I would have been in a lot better position because we'd be able to get to another Skull Bash. So he does switch into his Skuntank. I'm going to go ahead and go for my Ominous Wind. And actually, I go for the Shadow Ball, excuse me. I go for the Shadow Ball and just trying to get as much damage as possible, and I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. It is going to be, let's see what it is. It is a Crunch, so we're going to shield that one. and we do get to an Ominous Wind, and I charge up to the Shadow Ball. Let's see which one I go for. I do go for the Ominous Wind, and we do not increase our attack. That's totally fine. I should have went for the Shadow Ball. I don't know why I didn't. He does go for the Crunch, and that's not going to knock us out, so we feint the Skuntank. We wouldn't have taken that Crunch damage if we did go for it, but either way, we're able to get off an Ominous Wind. However, if we didn't go for the Ominous Wind, we wouldn't have gotten to this Ominous Wind against the Lantern, although actually we would have, because we would have had more health, right? Anyway, I bring in my Lapras, and we're going to take this Thunderbolt. We can take it. Not well, but we can take it. And he actually gets to another Thunderbolt, so he's going to pull this one off. So yeah, I definitely made a mistake. If I had bluffed the Surf against the Lantern, we would have been able to get to a Surf in this situation, so we would have won that. So I definitely made a mistake, but that's okay. As I said, it's okay to make mistakes. Nothing wrong with that. So for the next game, we lead with Dragonair. I do believe this is the last game in the video. He leads with Skuntank. He decides to switch into Dragonair of his own. So we charge up to the return, and we go ahead and use it. So we're going to go ahead and get off that return, see how much damage it can do. It will be met with the shield, so that's totally fine. He gets off his charge move. I decided to shield it because I saw he was in the red, so I knew I could feint him down before he's able to feint me down. So we do win switch advantage. And we're waiting to see what comes in. It is, well, actually, I click on the Aqua Tail immediately without seeing what comes in. And I live to regret it, right? But I'm just kidding. I don't know if we could have gotten to the return anyway. But we're waiting to see waiting for the switch clock to run down. I do decide to bring in my Victreebel. So he is going to go ahead and go for a charge move. I do decide to take it. I don't want to shield in Acid Spray, right? It is going to be a Leaf Blade. I didn't want to shield that either. So we'll go ahead and take that. And then he brings in his Skuntank, and we actually are able to get to Leaf Tornado. Didn't think I'd be able to get to it, but we actually do get to it. And that will lower his attacks. That's cool. And then I decide to bring in, well, the last Pokemon I have, which is going to be my Spiritomb. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. And it's going to be a Crunch. And we're trying to get to the Ominous Wind. He is up a shield though, so not really looking good for us. I do get off the Ominous Wind. That will be met with a shield. And yeah, I knew I wouldn't be able to get to another one, unfortunately. He will get off his charge move, and we're able to take it. And he switches out to catch my Ominous Wind. So that was a really nice play on his end. If I had gotten Ominous Wind against Skuntank, we would have probably been able to win this one. But unfortunately, he gets to a charge move before we're able to, and he is going to be able to win. And that will be it for this one, guys. I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.